Good morning, my friends. This is Paul. If I look and sound tired, that's because I am. I actually had quite a few nightmares last night that made it difficult to sleep. But the result of one of those nightmares was one of the most absurd, outlandish, unbelievable, and unintentional once upon a time theories perhaps ever made. Now, unlike devoted theorists like, say, Matt Pat or the Theorizer, who has some really good once upon a time theories. You should check him out. And all these channels that make theories regularly, they're 100% certain that the evidence is already there and that was the creators' intent. I, on the other hand, am saying no way. This is just too wild and wacky and weird to actually be. But because my mom was so fascinated by the theory when I was explaining it to her, she said, "Paul, you got to write this down right away." So I decided to do something even better. I'm going to tell you the theory right away while it's still fresh on my mind, because I just woke up a couple of hours ago as of the time of this recording. So, before I continue, just want to say, there will be massive spoilers of all 7 seasons of Once Upon a Time. So until you have watched the show through to completion, or have at least seen season 3, I would recommend that you stop this video right now, put a bookmark on it, or put it in your Watch Later playlist and come back to it, because this is going to go through everything. Alright, you done? You heeded my warning? Okay, cool. Henry and Zelena are unintentional parallels of each other. So I wrote down a few notes, but honestly, ever since I had that dream, the parallels just keep popping up out of the clear blue. Almost as though it's effortless, which for me, making theories is really hard to do. So for starters, both of them were children of scandal. You had Cora, who had her affair with the gardener when she claimed innocence, even though she could have chosen not to have the affair at all, those ENTJs. And Henry's parents were also not married, and Henry was conceived in jail, just as Zelena's birth mother was also imprisoned in a tower for a long time for a fraud that she claimed that she could turn straw into gold, just as Emma claimed that she could get the stolen watches back. Both of them were also told off by people that they trusted. Cora's secret was exposed by the gardener to King Leopold, and because of Pinocchio, Emma was told off and sent to prison. Also, both of them had adopted parents that were from a different land than they were. Henry's adopted mother, Regina, was from the Enchanted Forest, despite that Henry was from the real world. Zelena's adopted parents were from Oz, even though Zelena was actually from the Enchanted Forest. They were seen as weird and mysterious by their adopted parents. Henry was considered crazy and was given shrink therapy because he believed in the curse, despite the fact that he was actually right. Zelena was considered wicked because she had magic, despite the fact that she was also right. I know, it gets freakier from here. Also, they were so unique that they were given special objects that manifested themselves to them to show that they were unique. In the case of Henry, when he needed it the most, he had his Once Upon a Time storybook given to him. For Zelena, she was given a pendant that sort of centralized her magic. In the case of both of them, they essentially lost themselves after both of those items were broken. After Zelena's pendant was destroyed, she lost a lot of her magic. And with regards to Henry, Emma's storybook was almost burned alive in the series, the intended series finale of season 6. Also, both of them had unexpected roles in the future. So, for example, in season 7, Wish Henry ended up becoming the undoing of Rumpelstiltskin, And Zelena ended up being a hero in season 7. Now, as far as her undoing, well, how many do I count? The Tin Man, Neil, just to name a few. Zelena was quite a few undoings, especially Hades, a god thought to be absolutely unstoppable. She destroyed with the Olympian crystal. So not only did she kill him, she obliterated him. In the same way, Henry, through the power of the author's notebook, managed to undo the powers of the Dark One in the original Rumpelstiltskin, and allowed that Rumple to rip out his heart and die, which was also just like, whoa, unheard of. They're both undoings, and they're both children of prophecy. Zelena was prophesied to be this great witch in Oz, according to the Glinda, the Witch of the North. And there was also a prophecy against her. Henry was prophesied to be the truest believer, according to Peter Pan. However, both of them were also denied those privileges of being chosen. For instance, Henry was supposed to be able to save magic, but yet, through the cunningness of Henry's parents, they were able to stop Peter Pan, leaving Henry feeling like he ended up doing nothing in the grand scheme of things. In addition, Zelena was supposed to be special in the fact that she was supposed to be one of the 4 witches of Oz until she turned green, and therefore was a wicked witch. Or I guess more specifically, she was originally going to be chosen by Rumpelstiltskin to cast the Dark Curse, but he ended up choosing Regina instead. I guess the parallel there would be Wish Henry tries to wake up the girl from the sleeping curse nearing the finale of season 7, but then another prince comes along and takes Wish Henry's glory. I could go on and on and on about this, such as the fact that both of them ended up using shape-shifting at one point. Peter Pan and Henry switched bodies after they escaped from Neverland, and Zelena switched bodies with Marion during her time-traveling exploit. Both of them were resurrected in unorthodox ways, even by that show's ridiculous standards. Henry was given a kiss after he was reportedly dead, even though he really just fell under a sleeping curse. In the case of Zelena, she was thought to be stabbed to death by Rumpelstiltskin, but ended up going back in time and taking the form of another in order to preserve her own existence. Both of them also had unique children because they had marriages that were unique. In the case of Zelena, she kind of forced herself to marry Robin Hood, and their child ended up being a lesbian, something that only 3 other characters in Once Upon a Time have had, but none of them had that revealed to them at such an early age as Robin did. In the same way, Henry's child, Lucy, was considered the unique one because she was the only believer in the Hyperion Heights curse. Not only that, but she was a dark-skinned savior, which was, again, unheard of. Once Upon a Time Season 7 was all about unorthodox character reveals. Whew, man. There are just so many things that just... It's sort of like that episode in Arthur where once Binky starts being able to rhyme, he can't stop himself. In the same way, like, I kind of can't stop myself from thinking, like, wow, there are so many things that are similar between Henry and Zelena. But what do you think? Do you think I'm just a big fool and a bumbling idiot and just grasping at straws? Or do you think it's plausible that there actually could be parallels between Henry and Zelena? Or do you think, you know what, pal, stop overthinking things and just enjoy the show? Anyway, hope you enjoyed this grand, unorthodox, 100% certain this probably wasn't true theory. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic. God bless, and maybe write down your dreams. They could tell you a few things. Bye-bye.